Corporal, need anything?
How you holding up?
Fine, I guess. Thanks for asking. You know, Corporal, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Yes?
Well, not knowing your mother and all that shit your father put you through. Do you ever feel lost?
Why do you want to know?
Oh, I'm just wondering, I guess. So, what's your answer?
Yes, I do.
I figured. You know, I haven't told you that yet, but actually our pasts aren't so different. Save for the fact that my father didn't try to conquer the world, at least not that I know.
How are our pasts alike then?
Simply put, I also didn't know my mother. And my father was a bastard if there ever was one.
What happened to your mother?
She died giving birth to me.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. As I said, I never knew her.
I take it you and your father aren't on good terms then.
You are of great wisdom, Tahar. No, we were not. I was and still am the only heir of the family, and if there's anything my father ever cared about, it was prestige. You see, it might not be obvious, but I'm actually of noble blood. Pure blood, as Finn and Mir elves call it. Nothing impressive, small nobility. You know, similar to the kind of Nortander nobility that's always around at royal festivities, licking everyone's boots so that they just don't forget about them.
There's nobility in Finn and Mir?
Oh, yes, there is. They don't call it that, but essentially Finn and Mir is an aristocracy.
How so?
Well, as you might know, elven culture heavily revolves around the White Tree, a gift from their goddess Ellen. Simply put, the tree is revered and guarded by a group of mages, of seers, called the Council. They're the rulers of our country, 6 women and 6 men. Now, according to the ancient lore, when a seer dies, his or her
Слушаю
successor is
про
chosen by the
прошлое
council.
Ирии.
However, it has become custom that a seer should be replaced
Она
by
рассказывает,
someone
что
from his
она,
bloodline.
оказывается, дочка
Someone
аристократа.
pure, as they call it.
Which means they make sure that the power stays within the right families.
Indeed. And even though elven families in themselves are small, if you count all the cousins, aunts, and uncles, the members of just one council family could populate a whole township. In other words, the closer your blood ties with the council, the closer you are to the White Tree. And thus, the higher your standing.
So I assume your father put you under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I barely had a childhood. It was all stern-faced teachers instead, trying to feed me language, history, math, and magic from the day I could speak. And I can't even remember all those festivities and religious ceremonies I had to attend. It was as if I learned the meaning of the word small talk before I learned how to ask for my mother's teat. Not that she would have been around to listen.
How about friends?
Oh, that's another topic. I was allowed to go out and play as long as it was with the right people. Still, I didn't. Which was my choice, really. One of the few I made in those years. I preferred to stay on my own.
How come?
I don't know. See, I've always felt a bit ahead of others. As you know, we think in other dimensions than you do. Our lives are a lot longer. What that means is that an elf who has seen 20 winters is still considered and looks like a child. Thus, behaves as such. I just never felt at home with most people, especially around my age. And that feeling never changed.
What was your father hoping to gain from this?
Isn't it obvious? He wanted to marry me off, and thus expand our petty little family's prestige.
Ирия, насколько миллениалом ты можешь быть?
If he simply wanted to arrange a marriage for you,
Yes.
then why teach you magic, math? When these things happen in Nortander, it's usually more about, how shall I put it?
The looks?
And the ancestry, yes.
Well, these things play a big role in Finn and Mir too, but to be considered a good match,
Интересно.
education
Наверное,
and
там
magical
еще кость
talent are
есть.
just as important. For a priest, let alone a pure blood, to be seen with an uneducated, non-gifted street elf
Я
is
думаю,
frowned
пойдем
upon,
сначала в
not to say
море, а
forbidden.
потом уже,
Also, from what I've
скорее
heard,
всего, на
it's mostly
следующий
young
стрим
women and
будем
girls who get married
разбираться.
off in Nortander, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, this isn't the case in Finn and Mir.
С тем, как это
If
все
the head of a
вставить.
family decides to do so, a young boy or a young man
Пока
may have
камень
the
не
same
вставляем,
fate
да?
as the one I just
Не.
escaped by a hair's breadth.
Окей.
This is a topic you could fill books with. Probably not for now.
But it never came to that.
Almost.
I see. Where's your father now?
Dead as a doornail. He got
Yeah.
assassinated some years before I was allowed into the priesthood.
Assassinated? What happened?
He got mistaken for someone else. But it doesn't really matter. Let's not talk about it.
Лох.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be. To be honest, I'm glad he's dead. Otherwise, I would be in bed next to some 200-year-old seer now. You see, Tahar, if there's one thing I took away from all that, it's that there's no greater power in life. Or, if there is, it doesn't care. Murderers live to be 100, children die in the birth beds. Ultimately, the biggest fallacy is that we like to believe that there's someone who gives a damn. We're on our own, and we have to make the best out of whatever life throws at us. I did. And even though not all worked out as I had planned,
Как жизненно.
I'm here, and I'm free.
For the Guardians,
Chill out.
I never said that they weren't. But tell me one thing. Why is there cruelty when there's Shanna? Why is there injustice when there's Arian? Why do children die when there's Ellen?
Why
There are
so
two
deep?
explanations. Number one, the Guardians are far less powerful than we think. Number two, they just don't give a damn.
I couldn't agree more.
Happy to hear that. The gods aren't the answer. Yeah, every once in a while there's the token miracle healing, but chances of your prayers being answered are next to none. So you can either sit on your buttocks hoping that some god will take pity, or you can take your fate into your own hands.
Представьте. Фэнтези-мир, который объясняет нам протестанство.
No more cynical than to believe that the gods care.
Why?
Well, if you had the power to intervene without risk and you don't, what does that make you? A textbook cynic, and definitely not someone I'd like to have a drink with, let alone worship.
But you still feel lost sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But I'm working on it. Anyway, we digressed quite a bit, didn't we? Sorry, my fault. Sometimes I just talk too much. I'll see you around, Tahar. And thanks for listening.
Oh, the corporal. Quite a nice place you found yourself here, I have to say. Thanks again for helping us out in that bloody desert. So, if you don't mind, we'll unload our cart and smithy here. As promised, we can provide you with the best weapons and armor on Northander. The only thing we need to ask of you is a small donation every time we craft something for you. I know, you saved our lives, but we still need to cover for the material.
No problem. I'll make sure to drop by from time to time.
Splendid. Nihal strength, Corporal.
Ой. Ну, они продают дорогие пушки.
Эх, я чё-то кекнул.
Что такое?
Just give the word.
Саватор наконец-то получает 44-битную версию.
Блять. Так, ладно. Ну, мы-то со всеми поговорили, так что отправляемся на World Map.
Я думаю, может быть, блупринты посмотреть.
Да.
Может быть, нам Т3 дали. Или думаешь, на такие
Думаешь, там
дали?
есть блупринт на Т3?
А как его получить?
Не знаю. Ну, типа, я не видел блупринты на technical level. Может быть, он просто открывается по ходу дела. Ну, или мы можем поискать просто блупринты на что-то, что нам уже доступно. Ну, мы можем вернуться в Nexus.
А ну сейчас я гуглю. Блять, если бы на телефоне оно не переходило, блять, в мобильный Steam. Ах, он так хуёво грузится после обновления. Сейчас завантаживать свое место осталась помылка, блядь. Спасибо, на. Окей. Я на людях посмотрел, что Манлокс автоматик или цитадель. Значит, скорее всего, и там будет так же. Понял?
Окей. Отправляемся в таком же составе?
Да. Телепорт.
Да, телепорт.
Yes?
Быстрый вариант.
Anything on your mind?
Возможно, Андергаз бы тут добавил какие-то диалоговые опции, но...
Sounds like a plan.
Интересно, как правильно произносить имя чувака, которого мы ищем?
О.
Уэтли?
Ну, не знаю, я бы все равно его называл Витли де Морон.
Это не вид. Вот.
Мэтт.
Охуенно. Я выпил почти полную бутылку вина, я даже не почувствовал.
Я точно так же во время этой ролевки по мехам.
Он внизу.
You have a strange aura. Interesting.
Чё у тебя такое удивленное лицо?
Excuse me?
Your aura, it's different, cold.
Не голос деда.
Forgive my manners.
Хватит нюхать мою ауру.
Theo, archiver of the Creators Guild.
Как
May I
кал.
help you?
I'm
Моркал.
looking for someone. An archaeologist named Ilbertus Watley.
Watley.
That man obsessed with his island?
Yes. What do you know about him?
Not much. Only that he showed up here some years ago asking for funding for his bizarre excavation. All the nobles who usually fund these kinds of things had rejected him. However, he didn't have any proof backing up his claims, other than him claiming to be of Hibernian ancestry, just like Queen Aelith. So we had to send him away as well, which didn't stop him from digging.
Taking.
He thinks he's a Hibernian?
Well, he said that his great-great-great-great-grandmother was part Hibernian or something along those lines, though he didn't have any of the Queen's gifts.
And he also claimed that, through his heritage, he has been having those strange dreams since his childhood of a secluded island within the Black Sea that no explorer
Змеиный?
has ever laid eyes upon.
Ага.
And I take it you didn't believe him.
Well, I wanted to, and so did the other archivers. But the moment we start giving out money for fascinating stories alone is the moment we will stop existing.
Why would he dig an Everlight to find an island?
Because apparently there's a Shaper portal that might take him there. Or a Hibernian portal, I don't remember, it's been a while.
If you and the nobles denied him the means to do an excavation, how did he dig?
That's where it gets tragic. He spent his entire heritage.
To no avail.
Not entirely. He found what resembled a portal, but it was just dead, cold stone. It didn't take him anywhere. He tried to activate it for years, but ultimately his savings ran out. Now he lives in the mud district, begging for food. He literally gave it all for his dream, but failed. A sad story. Why do you ask, though?
Because we're looking for that island.
Oh? Well, then you should probably talk to Watley himself, if you can find him, that is. I have to continue my work now. Safe travels, friends.
Тогда на выход.
Yes. I'll take a look.
Мур загрузки.
Да, я, конечно, не одобряю, что игра заставляет нас загружаться дважды за то, чтобы послушать один диалог.
И после этого нам опять куда-то идти надо.
Ну да.
Well then, off to the mud district. Let's hope Watley's still there.
And still alive. You got
Я
it.
открыл портал куда надо.
Production time 5 секунд. Cost 1 blood.
Ты типа на ревайвал?
Excuse me, madam. I'm wondering if you could help me. I'm looking for a man named Ilbertus Watley. He's supposed to live here.
Watley. Oh, you mean that beggar? Ah, he lives here. Does nothing but beg for coins at the marketplace all day long. What do you want from him?
Long story. Much obliged.
That way?
Ильбертус Уотли. Судя по его портрету, он не бэггер, он какой-то этот Робин Гуд.
Насчет Робин Гуда я купил как-то в Гоге Робин Гуда, который типа как команда старый, но про Робин Гуда. И это единственная игра в Гоге, которая никак не хочет у меня устанавливаться. Гог просто пишет installation failed и все.
Say, are you Sir Ilbertus Watley?
Sir.
Yes, I am. Who are you?
Нравится, как они поворачиваются.
Do you know my name?
We're here because of the island in the Black Sea.
That accursed island. Tiara's breath. Here I thought I was done with it for good. Let's not talk about it.
You seem bitter about it.
How did you guess? I sacrificed everything I had just for some deluded fantasy. From a nobleman in Tiara's grace to a beggar in the mud district. Quite the career, isn't it? And all because of some deluded childhood dream. Because I wanted to believe I'm special.
Как жизненно.
Well, we know for a fact that it exists, and we want to find it.
What?
The island exists, and we have reason to believe there's something on it that we need. And we've been told that you tried to excavate an old Hibernian portal that could lead us there.
Forgive me, but this is a lot to take in.
But the portal exists?
Yes. Yes, it does. But it's useless. Just a piece of stone.
Ну, естественно, надо, чтобы туда подошел избранный, тогда он сразу же заработает.
What exactly
Да-да.
did you hope to find on that island?
Wealth. At least, that was part of it, and what I told my potential patrons. Then, of course, there was my supposed Hibernian heritage.
Не Хайбрениан, а Хайберниан,
All
блядь.
that aside,
Читать
Hibernian
научись.
culture has always fascinated me. I studied archaeology in Greyfell, and as most archaeologists, I was always laughed at. Most people still consider it an expensive hobby for nobles rather than a true craft. I wanted to prove them wrong.
How did you learn of that island?
That's complicated. What it ultimately amounted to were some vague explorers' diaries, dreams, and an active imagination.
And that's all?
No, it's not. But please understand that this is a very painful chapter of my past, which I prefer to remain closed.
So you used up all your wealth to find that island?
Yes. As you probably know, no one was willing to fund my expedition. So I decided to take the matter into my own hands. Looking back, I can't believe how obsessed I was. Even when I sold the house my family had lived in for generations, I didn't see where that route was ultimately bound to take me. But
Привет, Саня.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Очень интересные диалоги.
Another question. We were told that you consider yourself part Hibernian? Like the queen?
Well, not anymore. But yes, I believed that for a very long time.
How come?
Long story. The short version is that I've had these strange dreams ever since I can remember. Dreams of turquoise marble, of old rituals and ancient dragons. But they were always so vivid, like a real memory.
And that led you to believe they were?
That and the fact that I've always felt different from others. But then again, who doesn't?
Ну, шмотки есть.
In the end, the Creators Guild was right.
Можем
I
показать.
had nothing to back up my claims.
Be that as it may, we need
Я,
to
конечно,
find a way
не
to get
сильно
to that
могу
island.
стиль менять.
And building a ship isn't an option. Can you show us that portal?
Haven't you listened? It doesn't work.
We need to try. Can you take us there?
Fine. I can. But only under one condition. You need to pay me. Now, believe me, I wouldn't ask this if I had a choice. But leaving this place during
Кстати, я, наверное, талисман тебе отдам.
empty belly tonight. Just give me
Что ты мне отдашь?
Талисман Free Speech.
А он тебе больше не нужен?
Я забыл, что у меня Made Light Armor Immune to Silence дают. Разве что на мага его повесить, но, может быть, тебе пока он...
Плюс ачивка.
Ей.
Да, Саня, это буквально диаблоид плюс стратегия. Плюс количество текста, как в Энке. Я не знаю, ты играл когда-то в SpellForce? Хоть один?
Вряд ли.
Though not as uncommon as you might think. Some dreams just stay dreams. We just like to tell ourselves
Так,
otherwise.
нам наверх.
Гачки сложные, типа на разных персов. Куча разных персов, типа.
Да, это у нас 4 перса максимум, но их по факту у нас сколько?
8.
8, да. И 3 разных фракции, ты можешь перед каждой миссией выбирать, за кого ты хочешь играть, типа за людей, эльфов или орков. Ну, советую. Или вторую, или третью часть.
Sure.
Tiara's breath. You really killed them all. Just who exactly are you?
A former soldier. So this is the portal?
Yes.
Did you reconstruct it?
No, It was still intact when we found it, which is more than strange, but that's also where the mystery ended. We couldn't activate it, even with the portal stone.
How did you find it in the first place? And what makes you believe it's connected to the island?
Hibernian stone tablets. You see, similar to the Shapers, the Hibernians had developed a magic that allowed them to travel great distances within a short amount of time through portals. By stepping through an active portal, it took you wherever its counterpart was located.
Teleportation.
Yes, but much safer and also available to the common folk.
I see. And how do you know this portal's counterpart is on that island?
Another long story, for which I assume you don't have the time. Suffice to say that I found a kind of map, one that outlined all the Hibernian portals, how they used to be back in their era.
What's a portal stone? Something to activate them?
Yes, but as I said, it didn't help. I paid a fortune to buy it from a Chilean merchant, but I might as well have sung my incantations on a brick.
Where is that stone now? Can I see it?
You're really stubborn, aren't you? No, you can't. Because I threw it away.
Why?
Because it was useless. It was useless. Like all of this sodding, pointless horseshit I ruined my life for. Forgive me. I shouldn't have gotten so upset. This place, it just brings up memories.
Where did you throw it away? Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. There's a small shack near the old river watch in the southwest. That was the day I had finally realized that I had been chasing a ghost all along. You'll try to find it, won't you? I can see it. Please. I don't know who you are. But believe me, it's pointless. You're wasting your time.
Let me
Переживай, мы избранные.
If you insist. It's not as if I'm missing anything in that sodding city.
Yes.
Кейв, телепорт.
Пипи-порт.
I understand.
Блять.
There.
SpellForce is sacred.
Портал Keystone.
Could this be the stone?
Да ёбаный бобаный.
Не, ну Sacred это чисто диаблоид. Прям диаблоидский диаблоид. А SpellForce это диаблоид плюс РТС. Так что в этом плане они довольно разные.
Не, просто как по названию можно попутать.
Может, если тут посидишь, даже увидишь, какая тут РТС-ка. Я избранная. Вейтли.
Мое название стрима 4 дня подряд.
This doesn't make sense. No, this is a dream. This isn't happening. I need to see.
Stop.
You violated the law.
We need to follow him.
A little preparation wouldn't have hurt.
Yes.
А, пошли домой. Тут даже можно... А, вот, кстати, наверху можно выбрать расу.
Угу.
Human Sorg Selves.
Потому что мы всех открыли, вроде бы как. А тут видишь персонажа, то есть я могу забрать там, допустим, Рохина и там взять кого-то, кого могу. А я свою компу сделал. Поехали.
Да, мы играем за 3 рыжих баб и мужика.
Though some cartographers may claim otherwise, The maps of Io are still far from
Если
complete.
будет еще одна
The
рыжая
Black Sea in
женщина.
particular has always invited
Ахуй
explorers and
Рохема.
adventurers to
Мы
fantasize.
отправляемся на неизведанный остров посреди Черного моря.
Many ships have fallen
Yep.
victim to its stormy waters, causing the number of expeditions to diminish.
Ах, хз.
Зачем играть Диаблу, когда есть SpellForce? Говорится, зачем есть капусту, когда есть картошка?
А можно есть вареную картошку с тушеной капустой.
Tiara's breath. It worked.
Это же Атлантида.
Traveling with a godstone.
Only that this seems to have been a one-way road. The portal is closed.
What about the portal stone?
I don't know. It seems empty. Activating that
Нас
portal has
сомневаю.
used up all its energy. Question is, where's Watley?
Почему в камне моча?
And is it just my imagination,
Потому что
or
это
is the
чайник.
sun a bit lower than when we stepped through?
That's very possible. Time tends to get distorted for the user when using teleportation magic. Anyway, best we start searching for Watley. If he's on his own.
А, кстати, можно кому-то что-то запрещать,
Agreed.
кек.
Let's follow the path. He can't have gone far.
Прийти себе срать.
Got it.
Hard to believe we're suddenly thousands of miles from Everlight.
Опа.
But there is something unique to
Павуки.
this, isn't there?
True. There are hardly
Еще в
any
деревьях
signatures
сундук,
around us.
не сундук, а мешок валяется.
Whoever lived or lives here, they... You picked the wrong enemies.
Нет,
Pick
ты
the
не
roads,
говоришь уже.
helpful.
They will burn. We'll make short work of them. I understand.
Yash was
А о чем видос-то? Блять, опять медуза.
Yes.
О, вот ли. И даже друга нашел.
Who were these creatures? And what took you so long?
We entered the portal just after you. The teleportation caused a distortion in time.
Oh, of course. The writings mentioned that. Well, thanks for saving me. And sorry for being so mindless. These creatures, I thought they were going to kill me.
Who's our friend?
I don't know. He must be one of the locals. But he doesn't seem to understand our tongue.
Tunde, I do.
Fine. Now I'm lost.
So am I. How can you know our language?
Because we are both Kalal. You
Опять
come
Кал.
from the Forsaken Land, which our people left behind hundreds of generations ago. Though your
Было
way
дело.
of speaking is strange. Be that as it may, I am not worthy of answering your questions. I will take you to our Yaris. She has predicted the arrival of outsiders, and it seems that her readings have become true. You will free us from Shar's snake spawn.
We come from the same land? You mean you're also from Nortander?
Yes, but our ancestors left it behind. It's a long tale, and again, not one I am worthy of telling.
Они искали One Piece?
Who is this Shar?
Lakeshi,
Спидранер
a
Half-Life?
renegade, a traitor. But our Yaris will tell you all.
Alright. Then take me to your Yaras.
Wait, Yaris? Tunde. This sounds a lot like the Hibernian tongue. Are you Hibernians?
Not directly. But again, our Yaris is better fit to explain that. Now please follow me.
Да-да-да, сейчас пойдем, будем слушать диалоги еще полчаса.
Остров Яра, да, прям как в Far Cry 6.
Яра-яра.
Yakul! Saris Jadul! Mekil! I thought the snake spawn.
They are from the Forsaken Land, Yakul. Just as she read from the stars.
By the name of the sun.
Outsiders. Are they... I mean, do they speak our tongue?
We do. And I bet we have as many questions as you have.
I see. Gallus Danwaji, outsider. Thank you for saving this man. You have no idea what his death would have brought upon our village.
I promised to take them to the Yaras. Can you let us in?
I believe so. Take them to the Yaras, Mikhail. She will want to know the stars spoke the truth. It was
Каждый персонаж это слово по-разному произносит.
Концайский акцент. Так, есть тут что спиздить? А, я пошел в другую сторону. Кажется, в деревне пиздить нечего, это грустно.
I see the outsiders have arrived.
Yaras. Yes, they
Я
have.
два.
Just as you predicted. And they saved me from the snake spawn.
Then you already have my gratitude, stranger. Mekil, you may leave.
Of course.
Well then. I'm a Shah, holy Yaris of the Ulias tribe. What's your name?
I'm Tahar. That man, he said you foresaw our coming?
I read the stars, yes. They told me that soon a stranger would come, one seeking for something to end a curse put upon his land.
The blubber.
Don't tell me. Our tribe has left the Forsaken Land for a reason, and whatever is happening there, it does not concern us. All that matters is that the stars sent you to save us from Shar, and that we, should you succeed, give you the Kasarlanthep stone in return.
I hate to disappoint, but me being here doesn't have anything to do with the stars.
Yes, it does, even though not in the way you think. What I do, reading the constellations, it is merely interpreting a pattern that is already there. You see, we sentient beings like to consider ourselves separate from the world, but the truth is, we aren't. We're part of a complex whole. Characters, events, catastrophes, they repeat, maybe in a different shape, but with the same core. They are patterns ingrained into the fabric of existence.
Fascinating. This is
Memes, the
just
DNA of the
what
soul.
Hibernian priests always said.
In other words, you're saying that us being here is part of a pattern? So your people fled from the mainland?
Yes, we did, which is why we were able to talk to one another. But that was a long, long time ago. And since you will probably ask, we left because we were persecuted.
Persecuted? Why?
Because of our faith. We followed the ancient teachings of the Hiberians, and though we were only a few and our faith was peaceful, the priestess of
Рядное произношение слова хайберниан.
We started to roam the lands in search of a new home, but wherever we went, people drove us away. Until one day, one of our sages found a portal. You can imagine the rest.
So you worship the Hibernians?
No. They weren't gods. We follow their teachings.
Which are?
Quite simple. I know most remember the Hiberians as brutal dragon hunters, but they were so much more. I even dare say that their downfall was the worst that could happen to Io. But this is a complex matter. If you are truly interested, read one of our parchments. You should be able to decipher the writing.
Сейчас бы еще читать.
Oh, trust me. I'll do that.
Queen Aelith is a direct descendant from the Hibernians.
Who?
Right.
Who?
You wouldn't know.
Who?
And you never wanted to return to Fiara?
No.
No.
The Xarlanthep stone?
Yes, the ones who created the relic you are looking for.
I believe she is talking about the Shapers.
If that is how you call them, yes.
So we help you, and you give us the Nexus stone in return. Is that the deal?
I don't know the stone by that name, but yes, if you help us,
resolve our problem, you can have it.
Не засыпай.
You don't want to know what we need it for?
No.
Кто?
As I said, the outside world doesn't concern us anymore.
All right. What do you need help with? Your Medusa problem, I assume? And this Shar who's controlling them?
Yes, but it's a bit more complicated. Shar is my son. Where should I start? I have two sons, Dul and Shar. According to the Iberian traditions, it was set that Dul would succeed me as the next Yaras. As you can imagine, this was never easy. Shar never accepted Dul as the legitimate firstborn.
I think I can see where this is going.
It's not that simple. You see, their father died when they were both very young, and that shaped their personalities in very different ways. Shar was frail, sensitive, and emotional. He was always sick, had horrible nightmares, and often talked about these voices he heard.
He heard voices?
Yes. Not only during the night, sometimes even in broad daylight.
What did they say?
All kinds of things. But nowadays, I simply think it was him having a too active imagination.
What kind of dreams did he have?
Everything, really. A lot of it revolved around his father's death. And then he had this one about the sacrificed woman.
The sacrificed woman?
Yes. According to him, he always found himself in some temple-like room surrounded by strange, puppet-like creatures. He walked down a hallway until he stepped into a room where there was a woman lying on an altar. I talked to our shaman about this, but he said that it might simply be his fragile mind. Now I believe that it also had something to do with his magic.
And Dul, your firstborn?
He was the exact opposite. He was strong, always healthy and good with people, but hardly ever showed emotion. It was almost as if he was destined.
How did your husband die?
His heart just stopped beating. A rare disease that had run in his family's blood for
Его записали в
generations.
тетрадь смерти.
My condolences. What was their relationship?
Well, Dul was very distant towards Shar, and Shar hated Dul with a passion. The day things got truly complicated was when Shar discovered his magic. His talent was in...
Who taught him? I assume you don't have universities on this island.
Почему?
You are right. We don't. My duties as Yaras kept me
Наверное,
from
людей
teaching
маловато.
myself. So it was mainly the old shaman who died 2 years ago that taught him. But as I said, his talent was enormous. He didn't need much guidance.
Let's cut to the chase. Where did the Medusae come from?
Well, it all happened a month ago. One night, Shar and Dul were gone. The next morrow, our village was surrounded by snake spawn, rallied behind my Shar.
Being a talented mage is one thing, but where did all these Medusae come from? The snakes.
Ну, из воды очевидно.
A ritual.
Может быть, с неба
Invocation that
упали.
has been passed down in our tribe for generations. You see, we do
Заспавнились
not know war on this
в
island,
метре от
and
земли,
fate willing,
потом
we never
упали.
will, which is why we are practically defenseless. But that does not mean we are naive. Should our people ever be threatened by outsiders, whether they come by the portals or by ship, the snake spawn would protect us.
So Shar used this ritual to bind the Medusae to his will.
Yes.
So you can read from the stars, but you didn't see that.
Не часто, кстати, видишь, что в, так сказать, популяр фикшене используют слово медузой, а не медузос.
No. Maybe I was just blind.
Ну, блядь, я, кстати, не обращал внимания.
But what did he want? Force you to make him the next Yaras instead?
Worse. He said that since we are too blind to see, he would take matters in his own hands and enforce the trial of brothers.
Of course.
I don't
Братан.
understand.
In the Hibernian Empire, it actually wasn't custom for the firstborn child of the emperor to succeed him.
Makes sense. I guess a ruler should be strong.
Is that how you see it? Well, then we disagree. As much as our people admired the Iberian faith, this wasn't a custom we ever adopted. Be that as it may, for the month, Shars had his snake spawn abduct villagers to help him restore the ruin up north, so that it's worth. You see where this is going. You need to bring him to reason.
How am I supposed to do that? I can't take on his entire army by myself.
I know that. So the first step should be to free at least some of our people he has taken prisoner. After that is done, we can discuss.
These villagers your son holds captive.
As far as I know, he took most of them to the ruin up north, but the place is heavily guarded by snake spawn. I feel bad to ask this of you, Tahar, but frankly our hands are bound. I just have to trust.
Don't worry. We've fought worse.
Yes, I guess you have.
If we do this, can you also help us retrieve?
Yes, I believe I can. Our Valis. But until we have our people back, he won't be able to help you.
Why do you need me for this? You're
Ну, кстати, да.
Believe me, I've tried. And to be honest, until the first death, I thought that this was another one of his tantrums. But when the first villager his snakes captured on that first morning tried to run, he simply ordered them to shoot an arrow right through his throat. And Shar promised that if we make any attempts to stop him, he will take this even further. You see, Tahar, we aren't fighters. Our magic is meant to protect, to heal, and our weapons are only meant for fish and deer. But these creatures, you saw how dangerous they are. Right now, there is nothing we can do.
How am I supposed to make him see reason?
If only I knew. Talk to him, convince him, make him realize
Как
what he's
обычно,
done.
поговори.
But as I said, first of all, our people need to be free.
Как там толкнуть
As long
джутсу,
as the village
блять?
is defenseless, I'll be here if you need anything. Now good luck, Tahar. And for what it's worth,
Фу,
sorry for
погнали
burdening you
пиздить.
with this.
Anything on your mind?
You got it.
Ну, типа
Это всего я чувствую, что надо кого-то отпиздить.
Ну, типа экспозишена накидали.
Sure.
Ну да. Ну, не то чтобы они много лишнего наговорили.
Forests, fields. They really have it all, don't they?
Блять, это реально Атлантида какая-то.
So fond of this place.
Может быть, нас научат воду добывать?
Было бы интересно.
Sure. Sure.
Вот, кстати, руда тут есть.
Тут сундук. Не, ну тут наверняка будет поза строительства. То, что мы уже ресурсы начали собирать. Iron Bar. Five Stone.
Portal Keystone.
Looks a bit like the portal stone that brought us here, doesn't it?
То есть очередной обоссанный камень.
Того. Так, тут справа Ём тоже.
Волки.
Аву, блять. Почему у тебя Ирия забежала прям в самое ебло?
Потому что ей поебать.
Менторс Лезер Джек. Сетюшен 2. Если тебе вдруг нужна броня, которая не очень хорошая.
Эх.
That way. All right.
Медуза.
Ебать мухи.
Ну, с мухами потом разберемся. Ай. Я коленом прижал себе палец к столу.
Палец с чего?
Палец руки.
А. Это блайнд накинули, что ли? Или просто потемнело?
А у меня вроде все норм. Или я ничего не заметил. Блять, а не спавнится еще с этого тотема. Его снести.
Some sort of magical aura around it. It seems to be attracting the Medusae. Yes, sure.
Saris Jadul, you killed them. Who are you?
Easy.
Your Yara sent us. Are you okay? Can you walk?
Yes, I think so. Are we free to go?
Yes. They're awaiting you in the village.
Go? After all this cursed brat did to us? What do you suggest? I don't know about you, but I have someone to take care of.
Well then go. I'll join the outsider. You do need help, don't you?
It can't hurt.
Then I'm with you.
Me too. I want to be there when that cursed child gets brought to justice.
I hope you know what
Понимаю.
you're doing, Ruslan. I really hope
Руслан, блядь.
Just go. We'll be back.
Ну, у нас есть пара юнитов теперь.
Че, откроем телепорт себе?
Ну, давай. Он и так открыт, но можно его очистить, чтобы не светились эти чуваки. Они нападают на нейтральных... Блять, они их убили. F. Хотя чего я еще ожидал?
Потому что они нейтрально, их не могу воскресить.
Пох. Кто не говорил, что мы должны привести всех в целость?
Но
да,
они
мы, конечно,
как бы...
могли телепортнуться, но я уже побежал так.
Ну, типа, мы пытались. Они сами пошли на смерть.
Ну да. Чё они пошли не справа через лес, а они пошли на...
Tondai, outsider. What do you need?
Денег
I
хватать.
found and rescued your people.
Yes, I know. Thank you, Tahar. You have no idea how much that means to me. The thought that
Дай
my
уже
son
базу
has
построить.
caused all this. I still find it
А
hard
то
to
Саня
believe.
спать пойдет.
But be that as it may, at least now we are able to defend our village again.
Что, Саня еще
You
тут?
should go talk to our shaman
Он
now.
в чате
He will
присутствует.
be able to both assist you with your passage back to the mainland and with taking
Саня.
care of Shar.
Это там
I'll
даже
be here
Кирлин
if you need
подрубил.
anything else.
I'll be off. Thanks for your time.
Кто из вас шаман? Ты шаман. Иди сюда, шаман.
Anything on your mind?
Are you the shaman? The Yara.
Шейман.
Shame on you.
Yes, that's me. Tondai, friend. She told me you'd come. You're looking for a way back to the Forsaken Land, aren't you?
A way back to Northander, yes.
Good. First of all, I can't thank you enough for what you did. Those people, my friends, they might be dead if the stars hadn't sent you.
My pleasure. But how do we get back to the mainland?
Of course, let's make it brief. It is possible to reactivate the portal. Not the one you came through, but another one. However, it won't be easy.
Why?
Well, for starters, Shar's snake spawn is all over the island, probably also near the portal. We need to free it from them first, which would most likely provoke counterattacks on the village. Rebuilding requires stone and wood. Reigniting it requires energy. And finally, to activate it, we need a portal stone.
Like this one? This is the one we used to get here.
Show me. Yes, that's a portal stone, but you used up all its energy, so it's useless now.
Но мы нашли еще один.
Ну да.
I see. Any ideas where we could find a new portal stone?
Well, this is the most complicated part of the story. Though it's theoretically possible, I doubt you'll find one that is still fully intact.
Наверное, мы только кусок нашли.
Да-да-да, я теперь присмотрелся.
That might work too.
Hibernian what?
Crystal shards. It's the raw material runes are made of.
Ага, один кусок мы нашли.
How do we
With one. This is
Это уже все поняли, спасибо.
All right.
Yes. Good luck. I will be here and will prepare the charging ritual.